Hello, my name is Fred Nilsson. My company Rain Assembly has started a new vlog where we'll focus on the service and vendors of the oil and gas sector. We hope to showcase the impact that they bring to the oil and gas industry. We hope you find value in this series.
911, where's your emergency?
We have an oil rig that is on fire. It's just exploded.
I copy. We got oil burning from an oil fracking truck. Water's not going to put the fire out. Emergency traffic from command. All units pull back. All units pull back. All units confirmed from command. We're abandoning the site. We're letting it go.
This footage reveals the reality we face in our industry. We implement safety measures, we conduct thorough briefings, but these critical incidents can and will occur. It may be a fire that damages millions of dollars in assets, or a critically injured team member. These are the type of phone calls that we don't want to make or receive.
Hello, we're here today with Wellsite Sentry and with Brady Neal, the president of Wellsite Sentry, and we want to learn a little bit about where Wellsite Sentry came from, where they saw a need, and where they put together their mission statement. So Brady, would you please introduce your company and how you came to be?
Wellsite Sentry was birthed from our parent company, Corrosource. I started this company back in 2014. We originally began manufacturing corrosion control tools, moved into well services, and then we created a third division, Wellsite Sentry, to serve upstream. I was in law enforcement for 10 years, so I had this first responder background, and this Wellsite Sentry division was just a natural transition for us and our company to move into emergency response and safety services on well site locations. You know, our mission is to create and sustain a safe workplace on active well site locations, and we are doing all that we can to serve our customers out there to do this. You know, we've combined technology, emergency response systems, and most importantly, our first responders to accomplish this mission, and we're very excited about what the future brings for our company.
Brady, why don't you tell us a little bit about the cutting edge technology that you're using that's helping out with health, environmental, and safety concerns in the field?
Yes, absolutely. From the very beginning, we wanted technology to be a major role in what we're developing here at Wellsite Sentry. We wanted to become proactive. We didn't want to be known as a standby emergency response safety services company. The time of standby work is done. We want to be proactive. The technology is there, and that's what the vision we saw.
So Brady, why don't you tell us about how it's not enough to rely on the standards of the past, how now requirements are that we should be proactive in the field?
Yes, these requirements are starting to be pushed down to the service companies by operators out there. And more importantly, these requirements and standards are starting to get elevated by the underwriters. So our insurance providers. We're moving into a time where having a 20-pound extinguisher in front of every truck is just not going to satisfy risk mitigation efforts out there.
So Brady, tell us a little bit about how this can affect, like you said, the underwriters and the insurance companies. What are you hearing from them, and how's that driving this kind of effort? As
everything in the industry, it's evolving. Things are changing, and the underwriting industry is one of these areas that is changing. One, there's only a few companies in the world that will insure oil and gas operations. But as technology improves, there's going to be new players moving into this underwriting market. Data will change the underwriter's equation. The more data points we can collect on a site, this is going to completely change the game. And three, there's going to be this shift, just being standby, as I mentioned earlier, to being more proactive in risk management services. And we are seeing that firsthand already out there on the site.
So are you seeing it from your clients that in taking these proactive steps, it gets them better rates as far as insurance and underwriting of a project?
Yes, that is one of our clients, the situation that they're in. Their underwriter came to them and elevated their standard for fire suppression capabilities on site.
Can you tell us a little bit about your team and how they integrate with the crew on the well site?
What we say is we don't work for our customers, we serve our customers. Corrosource actually meaning is a ring of people as your source. And so our emergency response technicians from day one are coached to build relationships with all persons out on the well site, not just for our customer. And this is not just a feel-good thing, but it serves a higher purpose to build this trust so that when someone is having those cardiac events, they feel comfortable enough to engage our team to get treatment. So when we say we're serving our customers, it's not just handing them a bottle of water, but it's building those relationships out there so that they will come seek help from us in those moments when they need it.
So Brady, I notice a lot of your equipment has to do with the cameras and the overview of the well site. And can you tell us a little bit about that technology and how that benefits?
Yes, the value we're bringing in our Overwatch part of our services, it was a thermal imaging temperature measurement where we're measuring temperature points on site, normal video spectrum where we're recording on site and off site. And we're excited about some future things that we're testing now that will be coming in the near future with video analytics and using AI to be more predictive out on the site. We're really excited about that. Weather monitoring, we partner with Earth Networks and their spheric maps where we're monitoring lightning and thunderstorm tracking. So it takes that responsibility off of supervisors out there trying to get the work done. That's something that we've integrated in our technology, our emergency notification system, and the list just kind of seems to go on and on that we're developing out.
So Brady, tell us a little bit about your crew and how they assess the entire site to identify potential issues.
Well, each one of our emergency response technicians, or we call them ERT for short, these are certified firefighters, EMTB. So these guys are professional first responders. They've served their communities around them. We do have some full-time ERTs, and we have part-time ERTs that are actively serving in fire departments across the country, really. One of the things that we do is we do a full-day orientation with them. We familiarize them with a completion site, with a drilling site. We want them to be familiar with the nomenclature, with the pieces of equipment on each site, and that's what's unique. Each well site brings unique challenges in the setup and the particular location of certain equipment, and we take that into accountability when we're placing our hose racks and our command center to monitor those temperatures. So each one of our guys are trained in a full day on orientation. One of the important aspects that we challenge our ERTs during a shift is to be active. Again, this goes along with our proactive mission. Our ERTs are outside our command center making safety checks, making safety walks when it is appropriate to do so. So they're making our own internal safety checks and as well making safety checks for our customers. One of the value adds that we're very excited to bring to the well site is our emergency notification system. Being in law enforcement for 10 years, I know how important it is when you're responding to an emergency incident, you want to know where it is and what it is. And out on the well site, you have radio communications, and we all know in those emergency incidents, radio chatter gets very busy, and it's hard to pinpoint what is happening and where it is happening. Well, having a first responder on site, it's very important for them to know where they're responding and what they're responding to. So we developed out this ENS system where we have a touch pad in the data and the blender van on a completion site. And that screen corresponds directly with our ERT. So in an emergency incident, they can choose from an aerial shot of that particular site where the emergency is and what it is. And it lets our ERT know in a matter of seconds what they're responding to and where they need to go. So they can either fire the pump, grab the medical bag, and get to that location or be there for backup.
Brady, could you also touch a little bit on how you interact with other safety responders? Say there is a fire or a medical emergency. Are you the first to reach out to, those type of services, or how does that work?
Well, an important aspect of when we get to a location is to prepare. We want to contact that PSAP or that public service answering point. We want to know what fire agency, what EMS, what police, who is coming to this site if we call 911. And so that's an important aspect of what we do before we even start the job. But we have a designated safety liaison with each of our customers so that our ERT can focus on responding to the emergency while their safety liaison dials 911 and contacts those emergency services. But we know who's coming and their response times, so our ERT can judge that off of what measures he needs to take. But we are that first line of defense for first responders.
So Brady, I've noticed on a lot of your literature, I see hoses rolled out, I see equipment pre-staged. Can you talk about how you're already set to be able to react rather than mobilize? You're already in place to react to an emergency.
Yes, a main threat we face out on the completion side or drilling side is a fire and explosion in the top three. And so fire suppression capability is very important for us. And we saw other models where a fire hose suppression system is in the back of a gator or a truck and has to rely on that truck to drive to that location, or a single hose to cover a 400 foot by 400 foot pad. We knew there was a better way. So we designed a distributed hose rack system where the central water supply is in our command center, and then 2 supply hoses go to 2 hose racks that have 200 foot of booster hose, more than enough hose to cover a large pad. And we strategically place those hose racks in areas that will give us best options to fight that fire when the time comes.
Now, Brady, I've noticed in some of your videos, and they're the ones that I was most attracted to, I saw this foam, firefighting foam. Can you talk about that and leverage that new technology in your firefighting recipe?
Yes, well, the use of foam has been around for years, but the placement of where that foam is integrated into the water flow, that's what we're most excited about. We use Task Force Tips Pro Pack, and it's a device that we use at the end of that booster hose. So we have that 200 foot of booster hose, and at the end we have 2.5 gallons of Class B firefighting foam. And what we're able to do, we only have 300 gallons of water in our truck, but it's important that we are there for that rapid response. We are not replacing local fire agencies responding to that well site. We are not the well control. We are there for that rapid response to suppress that initial fire combustion. And so 300 gallons of water, but we can produce 4,000 gallons of produced foam with just that 2.5 gallons of foam in only 3 minutes and only using 30 gallons of water. Our fire incident we were on it in less than 3 minutes with foam and extinguished in less than 4.
So Brady, and in addition to the firefighting capabilities that you guys bring and the video surveillance, you also have EMTs, you also have triage in your trailer system. Can you please talk to that a little bit?
Yes, as I mentioned, each one of our ERTs are certified in medical services as well. We operate under a medical director, so we are very controlled in what we're doing and the protocols that we are doing out on the well site. One of the benefits of having a trained medical professional around the site, not just for life-saving capabilities, but something that's becoming more popular is telehealth capabilities. And so inside our command center, we have a triage facility where someone who's not feeling well or just wants to connect with their own company's telehealth, they can get right in there and connect with our EMT right beside them. And what we've found is that with telehealth, the more information you have, the better for that nurse or doctor, and the less likelihood that they're going to send you on to an ER. So when you have an EMT right beside your injured or ill person, they can provide heart rates, oxygen rates, blood pressures. It's going to give that nurse or doctor a lot more information.
Talk about the equipment that's in the trailer a little bit more. Tell me a little bit about the services that can be provided by your EMT.
Right. So, EMTB, of course, you just have basic life-serving capabilities. So we can create airways, we can provide oxygen, and we can monitor vitals. That's really about as far as we can go. Now, what's interesting is a lot of our ERTs are paramedics and beyond that EMTB level, but we're only operating to that EMTB level for now.
Your guys are looked to as the well site doctor on staff, right? I mean, they don't have anybody else. So if a guy's not feeling good, maybe there's some H2S, whatever. If they're feeling funny or whatever, they go to your guy, right?
Yes. Well, that's interesting. That's how we envision it. But what's so interesting is that a service like ours is not well known, right? So there's this adoption curve that's happening that we're seeing on the well site locations because they haven't seen a company like this. I have a guy on site that I can go to and seek medical treatment. These guys aren't and ladies aren't used to this. And so that's something that we're having to overcome.
So let's talk a little bit about, so during a tool talk on a regular well site, are you guys brought in or identified as a point of contact for first aid?
Absolutely. We are there in every JSA meeting, every on-site meeting. We are there contributing and letting our presence be known. But even though they say we're here, it's just that adoption of the way things have always been of what I have the opportunity to do now.
So Brady, your guys sound like a rare breed in the oil fields. Their backgrounds are unique. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Our ERTs, what we say is our people are our number one strategy. And these guys and gals, these are quality people. These are the people that if your grandma falls or you're hurt in your city, these are the people that's responding to help you and to pull you from the wreck or to pull you from a fire. These are certified firefighter EMTs that are out on these well sites serving. The majority of them were serving in fire departments in rural areas or in communities or in larger communities our part-time people come from. But these are individuals who are highly trained. They've been out there, fought fires, served their community through medical services. These, our ERTs are our number one strategy. They are what make Wellsite Sentry is today.
Yeah, we can talk a lot about technology, but without the skilled first responders, it's just technology sitting on a rack.
You're absolutely correct. The technology is an important role, but it's not our number one strategy. As I mentioned, our ERTs and what they're doing out there to save lives and protect assets, that's our number one strategy.
I imagine your screening process is pretty thorough.
Yes, we, from the very beginning, it's been word of mouth. You won't find a lot of, hey, come work for us out there on Facebook, and because we have this expectation set of what we expect, how to serve our customers out on site. And not everybody's a fit for that. And so we want to make sure that we have good quality personnel out there.
So Brady, it sounds like you bring a lot to a well site. Can you talk a little bit about what this investment might run?
Absolutely. So we're working with customers on day rates and hourly rates. So that is a range. But the price for this service is such a reasonable price that it's within a parameter that would surprise a lot of people. And one of the things is some of the services that we're already offering, they're paying for emergency trailer and eye wash. So we've taken that into account. And just a few of those services removed will pay for what our daily rate or our hourly rate is, which is going to be less than $2,500 a day.
So all of the equipment, the services that you bring, some of this is already built into their budgets and you bring it with your package, correct?
Absolutely. There are companies out there providing safety services for individuals that are just CPR certified individuals that are standby on site, and they're paying over 75% of what our daily cost is. We're providing you a firefighter EMTB for just 25% more. They could get this full fire suppression services.
So Brady, some of the images that I see on the well site are quite impressive. We see this mast that's elevated up over the well site, and it looks like you can see everything going on. Can you talk about what it's like when you roll up on a site and set up?
Yes, I mean, every site brings its unique challenges, but we're there to establish our presence, as I mentioned, to create and sustain a safe workplace. And so our command centers have this mast that go up that houses the thermal imaging temperature measurement and the normal video spectrum, our emergency notification system that houses the visual and audible alerts that come from our command center on site. So we're placing a strategic central location on that well site to establish that workplace safety. So it's really been interesting to see our customers and our partners work with us. And we know how well sites can be so small and able to get all this equipment in. Our customer sees our value and integrates us into the system as part of the team.
So when you come with your equipment, is it difficult to carve out a space for your trailer and for your mast?
It is difficult to carve out some space. Again, this goes back to that adoption curve, right? A completion site has always had wire line, flow back, pressure pumps. They've never really had a command center that houses EMT firefighters on site with that capability. And so it is a unique aspect of integrating that into the ecosystem of a completion site.
Now, some sites are very sensitive to safety, and you have your class 1, class 2 zones as you get further away from the wellbore itself. What zone is your equipment located?
Yeah, we're outside of that zone. So we are always usually out of that 100-foot zone from the wellhead.
Yeah, because that's brought up a lot with a lot of equipment. Are you rated for, being within the safety zone? So you're well outside of that, including your mast and everything?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Fred. And thank you for having us on here and giving us the opportunity to tell others more about our company and what we're doing out there to transform well site safety.